Yes. Good morning, all of you. Today we are discussing about the semiconductors. Yesterday we given some definition and we will see further continuation. Semiconductors. See carefully. First of all, we have to discuss about the extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic semiconductors. What is the indirectly meaning? Pure semiconductors. What is the meaning of pure semiconductors? Either purely silicon or zirconium is calling as a sorry for this intrinsic semiconductors. So these actually sometimes they may acting as a conductors or sometimes they may acting as a insulator. To improve its conductivity, we were adding some impurities. We are adding some impurities. We are adding. After adding impurities, we are getting some special substances. We are getting. They are calling as extrinsic semiconductors. So those extrinsic semiconductors are acting as a good conductors. They are very good conductors. This total phenomena is calling as a doping, and whatever impurities we are adding here calling as dopants. The impurities may 30A group element or may 50A group element. Based on adding impurity, again extrinsic semiconductor will be classified into two categories. They are nothing but N-type semiconductors and P-type semiconductors. All of you clear? So, to that intrinsic semiconductor, you may add impurity like 30A group element or 50A group element. Resultant, we are getting extrinsic semiconductors. They are very good conductors. Again, extrinsic semiconductors are of two types, may N-type or P-type. It is depending upon adding impurity. So, we will discuss that first. First of all, I want to explain, this is important for board examination, N-type semiconductors. N-type semiconductors, how you are getting? First of all, you have to take the intrinsic semiconductor, like either silicon or zirconium has to be taken. They may acting as a conductor or insulator, so means its conductivity power will be very less. To improve its conductivity, we are adding which group elements? 30A group elements. N-type, no, we are adding 50A group elements. We are adding. Generally, we are adding either phosphorus or arsenic. We are adding. After adding, what we are getting? Extrinsic semiconductor we are getting. That too is nothing but which type of semiconductor it is? N-type of semiconductors we are getting. To the pure semiconductor, after adding 50A group element, we are getting extrinsic semiconductor. Especially we are calling as a N-type semiconductor. How it is happening? How it is becoming like a very good conductor? We will see. First of all, we have to see intrinsic semiconductor. What is the meaning of intrinsic semiconductor? Pure semiconductor. For example, I am taking silicon. I am taking silicon. Yes. First of all, we have to study one thing. Silicon is a which group element? Carbon, silicon, germanium. These all are nothing but 4A group element. 4A group element means having how many valence electron? 4 valence electron around it. Okay, right. Like that, I am taking pure silicon. I am taking. Okay, like this, we have silicon crystal or silicon solid. We have around it. We are getting 4 electrons. Observe very carefully. 4 electrons we are getting. Means 4 valence electrons we are getting. Like this. What they are doing? They are involving in the sharing. Then we are getting covalent bonds. So from each silicon one atom coming like this, they are involving in the sharing and they are giving which bonds? Covalent bonds. Yes, one pair sharing give single covalent bond like that. Okay, every silicon has 4 valence electrons. Those 4 valence electrons is involving in the sharing with the surrounding silicon atom. Then we are getting 4 covalent bond around each silicon atom. Yes, like this will be happening. Now I am telling that it is the poor conductor for electricity. Poor conductor. Why it is the poor conductor? There is no ions, there is no free electron. That's why it is almost like a insulator. But now what is my target? I want to make it as a good conductor. For that what I am adding? I'm adding. For example, I'm adding arsenic. I'm adding. Means from the silicon crystal, we have to remove some of the silicon atoms and we have to introduce the arsenic. But you know, arsenic is a which group element? 58 group element. 58 group element means having how many valence electron? 5 valence electron. Means for example, in this crystal, I am showing one of the silicon atom is replaced with arsenic. What happening you see? Remaining silicon atoms is as it is. From that silicon, one of the silicon atom is replaced with which element? Arsenic. Okay, remaining silicon is as it is. You will get it very clearly. Okay, first of all, every silicon has 4 electron. Very clear it is. Yes, around each silicon we have 4 valence electrons like this. Like this will be coming. Though all are, but around arsenic we are getting how many valence electron? 5 valence electron we are getting. Out of them, so each silicon is involving in the bonding with surrounding silicon atoms. Like this will be going on. Sharing, we are getting covalent bonds. Like this, we are getting. See, now central arsenic. From silicon 1 electron, from arsenic 1 electron involving in the sharing, we are getting covalent bond. Yes or no? Like this, here also we are getting covalent bond. Here also we are getting covalent bond. Here also we are getting covalent bond. After finishing bond formation, what happening? Each arsenic has one free electron. Enough. That free electron is what? Charged particle. That charged particle, what it will do? Always carries the energy throughout the material. That's why this is the responsible for its conductivity. That's what you are telling. In case of N-type semiconductor, which are acting as energy carriers, either electrons are also calling as a negatively charged particle. Negatively charged particles are acting as a which one? Energy carriers. Very easily we can remember electron, negative charge, N-type. Very simple. Okay, now we are discussing about the which type P-type semiconductors. All of you clear? Yes. We have to see very carefully the P-type semiconductors. Semiconductors. P-type semiconductor means what? How to take the before I tell PRN, please. PRN. Discuss about the. Now we have to discuss about the P-type semiconductor. P-type semiconductor means what? We have to take the intrinsic semiconductor. To that we should add third group elements. Third group element is like boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. We can add any one of them in the crystal. Then we are getting an extrinsic semiconductor. We are getting those only we are specially calling as P-type semiconductors. So means what is the meaning of P-type semiconductor? To the intrinsic semiconductor we should add sufficient or required quantity of the third group element. Resulting semiconductors is calling as P-type semiconductors. First of all, you see, this is the intrinsic semiconductor. What has to be done? From this, some of the silicon atoms are replaced with which one? Third group element, either boron or aluminium or gallium. For example, I am replacing with aluminium. You know very well, aluminium is a third group element. Third group element means having how many valence electrons? 3 valence electrons. Just you see how it is happening, how it is acting as a good conductor. You take silicon atoms commonly like this and silicon, but here we are introducing aluminium, silicon, 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 silicon. But around each silicon we are getting 4 atoms. Sorry, 4 electrons we are getting, valence electron. But around aluminium we are getting only 3 electrons we are getting. First of all, sharing will be going on between the surrounding atoms or terminal atoms. It's going like this. All of it here that we will discuss in the middle of the part. Like this will be going on. They are involving in the property sharing. We are getting the covalent bonds is nothing but 3-dimensional arrangement. After that, what happening you see? This central aluminum has one electron and silicon has one electron. They are involved in the sharing, gives the covalent bond. Again here also we are getting a covalent bond. Here also we are getting a covalent bond. But here some problem is coming. Right now aluminum has how many electrons around it? 3 2s are 6 electrons. Is it stable? No. When it will become stable? By having an octet configuration. Octet configuration is what should having 8 electrons. How it is possible? If you take like this, so many silicon atoms will be there. Every silicon atom having how many electrons? 4 valence electron around it. From somewhere, this aluminum will pull these electrons here. Then we are getting here electron that's also participating in the sharing. After that, everyone will be satisfied its octet configuration becoming stabilized. But here what happening? Whenever aluminum is pulling electron from surrounding silicon atom, here what is happening? Gaps is happening or gaps were creating. Those gaps only we are calling as holes. The holes are indirectly carrying which charge? Positive charge. Why? Because this silicon atom is losing electron. Losing electron means it's becoming a hole. That hole is carrying which charge? Positively charged. Enough. So now, if you give the power supply to this one, that power is carried by which charged particle? Positively charged particle. So that's why in case of p-type semiconductor, either holes or nothing but positively charges. Positively charges are acting as a which one? Energy carriers. All of you got my point here? Yes, actually aluminum holding capacity to form 3 bonds, but with the 3 bonds it is unstable. To becoming stabilized, it will absorb or accept one more electron from surrounding silicon atom. Then silicon will having or will getting newly holes. Means indirectly silicon is losing an electron. Losing electron means it's becoming like a positive charge. Whenever you give the power supply, the power is carried by which charges? Positively charges are also calling as a holes. We can very easily remember the p-type semiconductor. In the p-type semiconductor, which are the energy carriers? Positive charges. In an n-type semiconductor, electrons are negative, nothing but negative charges. All of you clear? Yes. Okay. Now we are discussing the last concept in this. It is nothing but magnetic properties. Yesterday we discussed till now electrical properties of the solids. Now we are discussing about the magnetic properties of the solids. Magnetic properties of solids. Yes, we will discuss the maximum information carefully. So why solids are having some magnetic property? What are the responsible for this magnetic nature? So these magnetic properties of the solids is because of magnetic momentum of electron. Magnetic momentum of electrons in atoms. Are you clear? The solids is made up of chemicals. Chemicals means atoms. So which is responsible for the magnetic nature of the solids? The magnetic momentum of electrons which are present in the atom. So why electron having or how electrons are having magnetic momentum? This is because of 2 reasons. So those electrons will revolve around itself. In atom they won't sit calm. The electron will continuously revolving. Means whatever electron we are taking, that electron will revolve around itself. Around itself it will be revolving, and one more reason will be there. If you take the atom, in the atom what will be there? A nucleus will be there. Carries which charge? Positively charged. Around it also what is going on? Electron will be continuously revolving. Means generally in atom whatever electron will be there having 2 types of the spin or 2 types of the momentum. One is around itself and also revolve around the nucleus, like planets are revolving around the sun. Like that will be going on. So anyway, finally what happening here? Electron will be in continuously moving. Yes or no? Electron will be continuously moving in nature. Yes, according to physics you know very well. Always moving charged particle will create 2 fields. One is electrical field and as well as magnetical field. means nothing but oscillating charged particle will create always magnetical field as well as electrical field. They should be perpendicular together like this. Yes sir, like this will be going on. So if particle is oscillating in this particular x direction, electrical field and magnetical field direction should be perpendicular to one and each other. So such concept only we are calling as electromagnetic radiations. That is later totally different concept, let it be. So anyway, due to moving nature of the electron, it will be create two fields. One is electrical field, another one is magnetical field. This concept required to us. Finally, what we can conclude, each electron can be considered as a tiny magnet. Why? Because of that magnetic momentum of electron only the whole material may have magnetic nature or no. So that's why the whole electron will be considered as a tiny. What is the meaning of tiny? Smallest. Is nothing but a small magnets. Okay, now based on magnetic nature, the total solid substance will be classified into 5 categories. It's very important. First one, it is nothing but diamagnetic substance. Second one, it is nothing but paramagnetic substance. Third one is nothing but ferromagnetic substance. Fourth one is nothing but anti-ferromagnetic substance, anti-ferro, and last one is nothing but ferrimagnetic substances. How many types we have? Diamagnetic substance, paramagnetic substance, ferromagnetic substance, anti-ferro, and ferrimagnetic substances. We are discussing one by one all categories here. Perfectly. So what is the main concept? The magnetic properties of the solids is depending upon magnetic momentum of electron. Why electron having magnetic momentum is because of two types of the moving nature of the electron. One is revolving around itself and also revolving around the nucleus. Anyway, electron is continuously moving in nature. All moving charged particle will create both electrical field and magnetical field. So each electron we are considering as the smallest magnet, that's nothing but a tiny magnet. Yes. First category we are discussing, it is nothing but diamagnetic substances. Diamagnetic substances. I think you have any idea regarding diamagnetic substance. Just I will give you. If you take a particular substance, if you can take nothing but a solid material, if you can take, that one we are placing in an external magnetical field. Like north pole and south pole, that is only calling as external magnetical field. Yes. What happening? This solid material will not attract this external magnetical field. Means is nothing but that material or that substance is not attracted by external magnetical field or may slightly repelled by external magnetical field. Just I will give you one example. You take one substance, if you can take solid substance. Now you are bringing the two magnets, one is north pole, another one is south pole. What happening? This material cannot attracted by external magnetical field or may slightly repelled by external magnetical field. Such solid materials we are calling as a diamagnetic substance. Best example, wooden piece. Yes sir. Why happening like this? This is possible. First point, the substance should having even number of electrons in it. Even number of electrons in it. Because of even number, why magnetic momentum will be zero? Even number means what happening? All electrons are becoming paired. Paired means what? One is in upward direction, another one is in downward direction. You know in spin quantum number, upward direction is generally denoted by plus of, downward direction means minus of. Mutually cancel together. So then finally what happening? Magnetic momentum of the substance is becoming zero. Means no momentum. No momentum means it's calling as a diamagnetic substance. So the species or the substances which are having even number, definitely all electron will be paired. All electron will be paired means equal number in upward direction and downward direction. Mutually cancel together, the final momentum will be zero. Can you give us some example for this? Yes, you take NaCl, table salt. If you can take ice, if you can take wooden piece, these all are example for the which one? Diamagnetic substance. Now, I'm giving the second category. It is nothing but paramagnetic substances. What is the meaning of para? Means you take one of the solid substance that will be placed in presence of external magnetical field, north pole and south pole. What happening? The solid substance is slightly attracted by external magnetical field. Means is a substance which is slightly attracted by external magnetical field. Just best example, if you take a iron rod. Yes, you keep in presence of magnets. What happening? The iron rod will attracted by external magnetical field. Such kind of solid substances is calling as paramagnetic. Paramagnetic means is a substance which is slightly attracted by external magnetical field. Why? Why happening like this? Because of the substance is having odd number of electrons. Odd number of electrons is what happening? Some electron may paired, but definitely containing single or definitely containing unpaired electrons. Yes or no? For example, 5 electrons is there. Okay, out of 5 electrons, how is the arrangement? Yes, 2 pairs will be there and 1 unpaired will be there. Here cancellation will be going on, but it is remains. Due to this unpaired electron, what happening? They are having some momentum. Due to that momentum, it is having slightly attraction with the external magnetical field. Thus, nature is calling as paramagnetic. So, odd number of electron, definitely the species are having an unpaired electron. That will be down. This is because of one or more unpaired electrons. Unpaired electron is a single electron. We can tell some other things. This is only temporary magnets. What is the meaning of temporary magnets? Yes, if you take the solid substance, whenever you place them in external magnetical field, then only attraction with the external magnetical field. If you remove the magnets, it's like a diamagnetic substance. Means whenever they are in presence of external magnetical field, then only they are acting as a magnets. If you remove the external magnetical field, they lose its magnetic nature. That's why paramagnetic substances is calling as temporary magnets. And what is the example for this? Example is nothing but Cu plus 2 as well as vanadium plus 2 ion and Cr plus 3 ions. So are important. You check electronic configuration definitely containing at least one unpaired electron. Due to one unpaired electron, yes, is responsible for so many characteristics. It is having colors as well as magnetic nature as well as electrical properties. Did you see? Yes, copper. Copper solid having which color? Sky blue color. Because of unpaired electron. You check it once, you will get it all these things. Now, we are discussing about the third category. Very carefully have to observe. It is nothing but ferromagnetic substances. What is the meaning of ferromagnetic substance? It's a very close but slightly difference will be there. If you take a particular solid material in presence of external magnets like North Pole and South Pole, but the solid material is strongly attracted by external magnetical field. Very strong force of attraction with external magnetical field. Just slightly means more strong force of attraction towards external magnetical field is calling as ferromagnetic substance. Means it is nothing but strongly attracted by external magnetical field. Yes, these are acting as a permanent magnets. Permanent magnets. What is the meaning of permanent magnets? Yes, if you take one of the material like iron rod. Yes, if you place that one in presence of external magnetical field, it will be strongly attracted with the external magnetical field. Once you remove the magnets, still this iron rod will act as a magnet. After removing, again you bring one more iron rod, you keep it beside, definitely will attract. That's calling as a permanent magnets. Means once you place this material in presence of external magnetical field, it will becomes like a magnet. That's why we are calling as a permanent magnets. And what the example for this one? Very important thing how to discuss. Triads will be there: iron, cobalt, nickel, and gadolinium. One or two times he asked in competitive examination, gadolinium is undercomes which nature? That is nothing but a ferromagnetic. One more substance is nothing but rhodium oxide. These all are example for the ferromagnetic substances, but this can be successfully explained by one of the important theory. I will give the explanation for that one. Yes. I'll ask you some questions, sir. You see, for example, zinc is there. Is having till now para or dia or ferro. I have to check it. What is the atomic number of the zinc? 30. What is the configuration? Argon. What is coming? 4s2 and 3d10. No need of seeing all these also. From this only we get an answer. 30 is a which number? Even number. Even number of electrons is what happening? They are becoming like 15 pairs. How many pairs? Let it be. But every pair plus of minus of net momentum will be 0. Net momentum is 0. It is calling as a zinc is like a diamagnetic substance. Now sir, I will see according to this one. Yes, if you can take here argon, completely filled orbital. 4s is also having a completely filled orbital like this. 3d or of how many types? 5 types. How many electron will be here? 10. First, one goes into each orbital. Then what happening? Pairing will be going on. What happening? All electrons will be paired. So mutually cancellation of the momentum is going on. The net momentum will be 0. So calling as a diamagnetic. Can I give one more question? For example, Zn plus 2 is there. Is also diamagnetic substance. Are you agreeing for this also? Yes. The 2 electron boost. The 2 electron boost from where? 4s only. Why 4s? This is the third shell. This is the fourth shell. First of all, electron has to be removed from the last shell. That's why configuration will be coming which one? Argon. Yes. What is coming? 3